Okay, I think I'm lost. Every place looks very similar here. Oh, there's the mosque over there. Yep, found it, found it, found it. Here it is. Here it is. Yep. Assalamu alaikum, my friend. Hello. Yes. And one, oh, four. Can I have some chicken, please?
With rice?
A little bit of rice. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Hi, hola, and of course, dzień dobry. Now, salam alaikum. So according to YouTube, the last time that I actually posted a video was 7 months ago. Now, a lot of things have been happening, and I can't wait to tell you about it. However, amateur mistake, I didn't change the memory card on my camera, so I only have, I think, 1 minute. I'm gonna finish eating, I'm gonna go back to my place, and then I'm gonna tell you everything that's been happening on this side. Just clean this a little bit. There you go. Okay. Can you see this? Watch this. Boom. No plastic attached to this. If you have lived in Europe and then you're out of Europe, you're going to understand why am I pointing this out. Okay, so what am I doing in the Middle East? Why did I left Europe? Why did I left Poland? And what am I doing in Saudi Arabia? This is something, it's not really a decision that I made from one day to another. And I will explain why. In my niche, in my line of work, which is fitness and wellness, there's a lot of things happening because it's a very young industry per se. So a lot of stuff, it's changing very fast. From some years ago, I started seeing that in the Middle East, they were investing a lot on this. The whole wellness, when it could be mental fitness, physical fitness, and something that I like to call emotional fitness that I'm actually working on. So I started seeing that they were investing a lot in that. Places like Dubai, places like Doha, places like Muscat in Oman, in Bahrain, in Kuwait, and in Saudi Arabia, now that they're having this whole thing called their Vision 2030, which I'm going to explain a little bit more further. That has to do with the whole, if you've heard about the line in this mega projects, that has to do, in some part, it has to do with this whole vision that the royal family is pushing. So back in Poland, I couldn't really find a job. I do have clients in Poland, but I couldn't really find a stable job related to my niche. So in my line of work, you constantly need to be improving, getting certifications, getting to expand more your knowledge to be providing the best service, to provide the best knowledge to people, specifically in an industry that is changing so fast, like the fitness and wellness industry it is. And sometimes people get oversaturated with a lot of stuff that is happening on social media, what they're seeing on the web, what they're seeing on the internet. And a lot of that stuff is actually not very, it's very vague. So, and it's also some of the things, they're very volatile when it comes down to information. So I saw that in Poland, although I wanted, and I tried to push this, bureaucracy also played a little bit against me, because sometimes I had to leave the country because of my permit, because of my work permit, the residency, and that kind of stuff, and so on. I was getting stuck, professionally speaking, and I had to make a decision whether to grow more, and maybe at some point I could come back with the stuff that I learned, or just see what was going on. So I got a job offer from one of the top wellness brands in the world, and we're actually right now doing our pre-opening phase. which is a lot of work. So we're doing a lot of simulations, we're trying stuff out, we're getting trainings, and we are evolving, at least I am evolving in the way how I even teach fitness with my private clients. Over the time, I started seeing that fitness itself, it's not only about just doing the workout, just eating healthy, and that's about it. Basically, people would just limit themselves to that. In my case, I started seeing that I had to go further in a way that the whole, holistically speaking, it was better for the person to be coached in that way, that it's integral, that the part of it's mental, it's emotional, and it's physical. The physical part of it, just getting someone in shape, is the easy thing. You just need to be consistent. Consistency every day, you just make small twitches, and eventually you will get there. But what about your mental fitness? What about something that I like to call your emotional fitness? How are you training those kind of things? When I started seeing that in Poland, I was limited within that that ecosystem per se. I really had to make a decision, and I said, you know what, I think I'm staying behind. And I've been a freelancer for so long, for so many years, that I think I'm staying behind, and I want to see what the industry is doing right now. So I applied for a job. I got this job with this amazing brand. I cannot share a lot of the stuff. It looks amazing. It looks very nice. Of course, there's some things that I like and I don't like everything else. And I'm not speaking about the job itself, but I'm speaking about the offerings that they do. I truly believe that wellness is the future of hospitality, and I have a background in hospitality as well. So the place that I'm actually working is a wellness resort. And a wellness resort, it's very different from a hotel that has wellness as an, let's say, as an add-on, as something additional. It's very different. I'm gonna be speaking about this kind of stuff more in the future. So in this kind of sense, I saw that my whole professional life had to move in a different way. Not that I felt completely stuck in that way, but I felt that there's some stuff that I think I need to see more, in able to see where I am standing in my own area, right, as a professional. And from being a freelancer so long, then coming back to the corporate world, within the industry, it was interesting to see how a lot of the stuff that I was already implementing, I was not very far away from what they're doing. Actually, I do feel like fish in the water in this new company. It's an amazing team. They're learning, they're adapting very fast. And if you have ever worked in pre-openings or doing a pre-opening, specifically in the hospitality in the hospitality industry, you know how chaotic, how hectic that can be. But I love it. I love this. It's not the first time. It's not my first rodeo doing a pre-opening. I've done this before, and it's an amazing thing because you get that feedback. However, it's a little bit different because now I'm in the Middle East, so the rules change a little bit because we need to adapt culturally speaking. So there are certain things that I will be posting in more upcoming videos that I will be mentioning, like cultural shocks that I go like, man, okay. I mean, it's totally different. So I've never had that experience before. And now that I'm into this part of the world, it's interesting. And I'm still seeing that. Again, we are in the pre-opening phase. It's my third week here. And it's been very interesting. I'm in a place called the Red Sea Project, which is part of, close by to the Red Sea, how the name says it, in an island that they built just for the people who are working here. So we are in a place that's kind of isolated. And I was speaking with one of my colleagues earlier on, and a lot of people, that takes a toll mentally. So for some people don't really, they're having a little bit of, they're working on how to manage that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna be also speaking about that, mental fitness, emotional fitness, physical fitness as well. So my channel, it's evolving into a way that is going to be more focused on the wellness side of things. Again, if this is the first time that you're watching this video, I'm going to be speaking a lot about this, how to take care of your mental health, how to take care of your emotional health as well, and the physical aspect of it as well. I think it's important. I think that sometimes we spend a lot of times on our phones, on the internet, on social media, and sometimes we forget to be what I would call digitally mindful about it. And sometimes we can be in the zone, like very focused, but we forget that what's happening around. And we live our lives just in autopilot, and sometimes we don't actually are aware of what's happening. And that's stuff that I'm going to be speaking a lot about. My content started, my channel, started kind of traveling and talking about my own experiences. But now that I'm here, I think it's necessary, and I've made it my mission to speak about these things because I think it's necessary. And it's what, after being in so many countries, and this is my 6th country that I'm living in different continents, I think I've seen enough of the world to realize that people need this, we all need this. Sometimes we need to reach out for help. Sometimes we need to have a lot of empathy, and we are here to help. We are here to help each other. So, especially with so many things happening, you just open your social media and you have a lot of stuff. I don't want to go into specific details in politics, but there's a lot of things happening, and there's that thing happening. Then we just got out from a pandemic that we were completely isolated, and a lot of people spend a lot of time just sitting in their houses, in their places, with their own thoughts. And sometimes a lot of people had they had a lot of, what is the word that I'm looking for? They had a lot of issues trying to digest their own thoughts. And now we have a lot of patterns, there's a lot of noise around that doesn't let us focus in the stuff that is really necessary, that it's gonna give us longevity, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So that's basically, in a few words, to sum it up, that's basically what I'm doing over here in the Middle East. In Saudi Arabia, I still crave for Europe. Of course, I consider it my home, specifically Poland. However, I'm open to other opportunities as well. I'm developing myself, I'm growing myself, I'm growing within my industry a lot, and I'm seeing things that I didn't see that before. And okay, so I knew about this, but this gives me a fresher perspective. So I'm changing a lot of the things in the way that I used to believe it was like that. I'm not talking about my essence, but I'm talking about more technical aspects, more stuff, slow down a little bit more. It's different when you're in freelancer mode versus when you're in the corporate side of things. So that dynamic is different. I'm not saying that one is better than the other one. It's just each one, it's its own entity, and I like the dynamic of that. So the stuff that I learned from freelancing, now I can apply that to the corporate, and vice versa. If I'm doing stuff like what I'm doing right now, training my private clients after office hours, besides what I'm doing and implementing in my new job. So that's it. It's a short video. I just wanted to tell you what I'm doing over here. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of things that I want to share. Again, it's going to be more focused on wellness. That's going to be from now on more the main subject, the main theme of my channel. And again, if this is something that you liked, this is the type of content that resonates with you, make sure to give it a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe. Also, some people on my other social media, They send me sometimes messages to make a video about a specific topic related to wellness. That could be your emotional fitness, how I mentioned before, your physical fitness, or even your mental fitness. So if you have any kind of suggestion that you want me to make a video related to my area of expertise as a fitness and wellness specialist, please do drop a comment. You can send me a message on my email, or you can also reach out to me on my other social media, and I will be more than happy to make a video to clear any doubts from a professional point of view. I hope that you have a great weekend. I'm posting this on a Thursday. Sorry, it's not Thursday, it's Friday. I'm losing track of time. You know, because the weekend over here, it starts on Friday. I mean, Thursday night would be like a Friday night on the rest of the world. So over here, Friday is considered a holy day, and Saturday, it would be like their family day per se. So the weekend gets a little bit moved one day behind the not the original, but how they do the weekend in the other parts of the world. So I'm still getting the hang of it. It's kind of weird because then you wake up and you don't know, oh, it's Friday, you're not supposed to work today. So it's kind of weird. But anyways, I hope that you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.